It has been some 3 weeks now, specifically on the 27th of May, that I put out the outcome of investigations I had carried out into the President's recent travels between the 16th and the 25th of May 2021 to France, Belgium, and South Africa. I revealed in that publication that the President had opted to use a top-of-the-range Airbus ACJ 320neo, the world's most spectacular, luxurious business jet. The business jet in issue was manufactured in France by Airbus and then sent to Switzerland for a good 13 months just to make it the world's most luxurious aircraft. Indeed, if our viewers and our listeners Google the ACJ 320neo, the first thing you see is that this is the world's most expensive, the world's most luxurious aircraft. It's a wonder in the aviation industry how they spend 13 months in Switzerland in sprucing it up. This is an aircraft which ordinarily, if you look at the size of it, should be taking 150 to 170 passengers. But they have removed the passenger seats and reduced it to a 17 capacity at night and 19 capacity at day aircraft to make room for the luxury reconfiguration that they want to achieve. So there's a master bedroom in there. There's an ensuite bathroom with showers, a rectangular shape bathroom, the widest bathroom you will find in any aircraft in the world. And all of this is documented by the manufacturers. If you go on their website, where they provide the specs of the aircraft, they tell you all of these things. It has dining facilities, round-the-clock IT facilities, the most sophisticated IT facilities any aircraft has ever had. Gold-plated and all of that. These are not my descriptions. Viewers, listeners can go on the internet and Google the ACJ 320neo. It is the most top-of-the-range, luxurious aircraft ever manufactured. It took them 13 months just for the luxury aspect and the design of the interior. So if you are going to rent that aircraft, you will pay the highest amount that you can pay for in the aviation industry. Approximately £15,000 an hour. In that publication, I revealed that the aircraft, which is registered as G-Kelt and owned by a company called Acropolis Aviation, based in Farnborough, United Kingdom, has leased the aircraft to the Ghanaian president at approximately £15,000 an hour. The president used the aircraft from Accra to France for the Paris Africa Summit on the 16th of May. That was a 6.5-hour journey. Then the president used that aircraft, the same aircraft, the ACJ 320neo, from France to South Africa, Johannesburg. And then from Johannesburg, that was on the 20th, France to Johannesburg was on the 23rd of May, and then on the 25th of May, the president used it from Johannesburg to Accra. What I did was to calculate just the active flying time, because I wanted to put out a very conservative estimate. I didn't want to include the other incidentals, so that perhaps if there had been some discounts, I am not accused for exaggerating. So what I have put out is the minimum amount. Minimum. £15,000 an hour. You multiply that by 23 hours of the total flying time. That gives you £345,000. On the 27th of May, when I put this out, the prevailing exchange rate for that day, you get 2.82 million Ghana cedis for just 23 hours. You will observe that I did not include the ferry period when the aircraft is flying empty to come and pick you up in Accra, from Farnborough to Accra. I didn't include that. When the aircraft is flying back to Farnborough after it had concluded its work and left the president in Accra, going back to Farnborough. If you are conversant with the aviation industry and with these charter arrangements, you will have to pay for it. I did not include the landing rights, particularly when there is a layover, because in South Africa, they spent a night. And you have no idea how much the landing charges are as you wait on the tarmac overnight, hour after hour. I did not include the hotel bills. I have not included per diem. And I have not included the others who are now confessing that they also went there and flew commercial. At least the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, the Honorable Charles Edubuahin, has told Parliament at the Appointments Committee that he flew commercial to meet the President. So I have not added all of these costs. So the 2.8 million Ghana cedis is a very conservative. I have been exceedingly generous to the President in this matter. When we put out the information, the initial claims was that, the Falcon, there was an incident in 2018, it's not really in good shape. The Falcon cannot fly for long hours. Do you want the president doing trotro, especially in these COVID times and all of that? All kinds of initial attempts to justify why the Falcon was not used. So I decided to file two urgent questions in Parliament. One directed at the Honorable Minister responsible for Defense, to tell Parliament and the people of this country the state of the presidential jet, the Falcon 9G EXE, and whether it is airworthy. The second question was directed at the Honorable Minister for Finance, the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, to come to Parliament and tell us the full cost, because what I had done indicative pricing after reaching out to Aviation Acropolis to find out how much they charge for an hour. Then I looked at, because I tracked the aircraft using Flight Radar 24. And in the aviation industry now, a lot of these things are transparent. Once you get the airline's registration number, you can track all the way. And so I had been tracking from the 16th of May, knowing where the aircraft is going and all of that, calculating the hours. And so it's not difficult at all to know how these things are playing out. So the finance minister to tell us the full cost to the Ghanaian taxpayer. The Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament admitted these questions on the 1st of June. 1st of June. The Defence Minister was billed to respond on Wednesday this week, which should be about the 16th of June, if I'm right. And then the Finance Minister to respond on Thursday, the 17th of June. The Defence Minister was in Parliament and has since responded. If you listen to the Defence Minister carefully, defense minister has confirmed beyond any scintilla of doubt. There can be no equivocation. The defense minister was clear and unambiguous that the Falcon, the presidential jet, is in good condition. We all heard the defense minister. The defense minister said it is serviceable. So those who initially were making claims that, oh, you know, the Falcon probably was not available, the Falcon could not have taken the president to France on this trip. Clearly, those initial defenses have collapsed. They are not sustainable. Now, after the defense minister told us in Parliament that the Falcon is in good condition, is in pristine condition, he then went further to give some justifications as to why the president decided to travel with the ACJ 320neo, the world's most luxurious, most opulent, and most extravagant aircraft. When the defense minister was speaking, I was writing, you could tell these are my notes from Parliament. I wrote down the reasons he gave. First, the defense minister says breaks for refueling, that the president did not want to, in this COVID era, be breaking for refueling. As I put out in Parliament in my supplementary questions, I challenge the Honorable Defense Minister on that. That this Falcon 9G 900 EXE is a long-range flight. It's a long-range aircraft. I read to the Defense Minister in Parliament this Hansard of 19th March 2008, when President Akufo caused his Defense Minister to come to Parliament and make a case for parliamentary approval to buy the Falcon. This is what Parliament was told. This is the Hansard of 19th March 2008 at column 2122. The defense minister at the time said, and I quote, the Falcon 900 EX Easy support aircraft would be able to carry 10 to 15 passengers and cover over 4,000 nautical miles. That is Asia, North America, and Eastern Europe. The technical team from the Ministry of Defense further indicated that the aircraft has a lifespan of at least 20 years. So this Falcon is not for short range, short distance. Indeed, even the EX, and listeners can Google this, why this aircraft, the Falcon, our presidential jet, is called 900 EX. EX stands for extended range. Extended range. In the Dassault Falcon category, our Falcon is the one with the longest range. If you research on this, if you go on the Dassault Falcon website, I have the download here. They will tell you, and this is on the website, viewers can go on the website of Dassault Falcon. They say, quote, no matter how you look at it, the Dassault Falcon 900 EX is an impressive private jet with ranges of over 5,000 miles, an incredibly comfortable cabin, an innovative 3-engine configuration for overwater safety and fighter jet design strength. It is ideal for transoceanic and transcontinental trips and offers great versatility in flight planning. So, ideal for transoceanic, transcontinental. So, this aircraft, it flies more than 8 hours non-stop before you need to refuel. The journey from Accra to Paris is 6.5 hours. So this aircraft could have taken the president to France. This same aircraft could have taken the president to Belgium, France to Belgium, less than an hour. France to South Africa is 11 hours. So what you do is that you fly back to Accra, you refuel. If you want to, and refueling, when the defense minister says, oh, COVID, you don't want the president stepping out and all of that. I have been in this presidential jet with President Mahama, President Mills, when it's time for refueling, you are given two options. Because refueling takes less than an hour. You either stay in the aircraft and it's refueled, or if you want to disembark and wait at the lounge. So if you are afraid of COVID, you stay. And in any case, you are going to South Africa, you are doing one stop in Accra. Accra is where you stay. You left from Accra. So you can't be afraid of COVID in Accra, your own home backyard. So all the excuses the defense minister was giving in parliament. Then he talks about bigger seating capacity. That this Falcon is an 11-seater. I challenge him, if you look at the hands, that it's 15-seater. Then he said, okay, you have to, he's not adding the crew. So if you take out the crew, it's 11-seater. And he says in times where the luggage is big, it comes down to 8. You are going for just few days. I don't know why people should be carrying big luggage, traveling for just a few days and coming back. But let's say we want to buy the seating capacity issue. Wouldn't you think that, because listen to the defense minister, he says that security and then journalists will travel with the president. Wouldn't you then think that the option that they will consider will be a bigger capacity jet? This ACJ 320neo, this luxury aircraft in issue, is only a 17-seater. What's the difference between 15 and 17? 15 and 17, that two seat space. How many journalists, how many security personnel can go in? So again, that defense collapses. Then the issue of COVID-19, we've demolished that. The most fantastic one, I reserve that for the last, is the one which went viral, where he said that the Falcon, no president can bath in it. You can't freshen up. But with this ACJ 320neo, president can bath. Can you believe that? I think in the history of parliamentary responses to questions, this will go down as one of the most outstanding. I mean, I was stunned, and everybody was shocked. And I've been asking, Sana, when the president is working in Accra or in Ghana as president, does he take his bath every 6.5 hours? Because Accra to Paris is just 6.5 hours. If you were traveling to parts of Bono, parts of Western region, the Yosu area, I don't want to even bring in Tamale, Bolga, Wa, and those people. You spend more hours. Somebody going to France will arrive before you get there. Before you. So all of these excuses, what is clear is that the excuses are not making sense because there was just no justification. This whole arrangement was just for comfort. Those who put this together, this whole private charter together, were looking for one thing: total luxury. Let's fly as Arabian kings. And you see, the irony should not be lost on anybody. What was this whole trip about? The president was going to France to make a strong case for debt cancellation. I remember that the next day after his speech, the newspapers from the stable of our friends on the other side all carried front page. The president has made a strong case for debt cancellation for Africa because of the impact of COVID. And see how the president travels to go and ask for debt forgiveness. Then the president goes to Belgium and asks for a loan of 170 million euros. A loan, not a grant. Some people have said, oh, let's consider the money he came with. That is a loan. They will pay back. There is more irony. The president went to France. President Macron is still using the presidential jet, which they bought coincidentally the same year we bought our presidential jet. Our presidential jet arrived in 2010. The Kotam 001 arrived in 2010 in France. The United States of America is still using the presidential jet which flew President Bush the first in 1990. They are now making arrangements for a new presidential jet, which they say will arrive in 2025. United States of America, their jet arrived 1990. They are using it. Ours arrived. And if you look at the parliamentary Hansard, we're told that minimum lifespan, 20 years. This is just the 11th year. So why do you do this? Why do you do this? This is a president who told us he will protect the public purse. This is a president who May Day this year said that, look, because times are hard, because workers, he was addressing Ghanaian workers, organized labor, that manage your expectations. You can't get the wage increases you are looking for. We are also leading by example. So we are not increasing our salaries this year. Even though the president knows that as politicians, our salaries are not reviewed every year. It's at the end of the 4 years that if there's any back pay and all of that, it is arranged for us. But let's at least appreciate the gesture that the president was talking about a period of austerity. So they want to lead by example. Is this how you lead by example? When there's a functioning presidential jet, which is working. This presidential jet, there's nothing wrong with it. This is Ghana's 4th presidential jet. And one of the youngest. President Nkrumah's presidential jet, which arrived in 1962, he used it throughout to 1966 when he was overthrown with the German pilot Hannah Reich. The second one arrived in 1976 under Champong, the Fokker 28. Then President Rawlings ordered the Gulfstream GII in 1998. This is the 4th presidential jet. There is absolutely no excuse for the president not using this presidential jet, like his predecessors had. President Mills used this, President Mahama used this jet. Now, the claim that this jet even is not that comfortable, if you want to freshen up, you cannot. It's not true. I have here the specs of the Falcon, the current Falcon that we have. It says it has standard seating between 12 to 13 passengers in a double club configuration, plus a 3-person divan. The divan is like, you can recline the chair for it to become like a bed with a rest area for your feet and all of that. With a mid-cabin 4-place conference grouping. The full-size galley is configured with equipment for hot meal preparation, including a high-temperature oven, microwave, and coffee maker. The aft baggage compartment, which holds 127 cubic feet of baggage, is pressurized and air-conditioned and can be accessed in flight. Sound levels within the cabin are very low, and temperature distribution is even throughout all parts of the cabin. I recall that traveling with President Mahama, 1 hour to arrival, the crew will come, wake him up, present hot towel to him, can freshen up. He lands and then he meets the welcome party, and official business continues. It's a comfortable aircraft, the Falcon. If you Google, actually, best African presidential jet, we are in the top 5. It's only Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco who are ahead of us in terms of luxury presidential jets. All the other countries are behind us. We rank very highly. Finally, let me state that what happened in Parliament, where the finance minister, having been given more than a 2-week notice, the defense minister has come to respond. You even had an extra day to prepare, to come on Thursday. Then you come to Parliament very early on Thursday and tell the clerk at table that you are not ready. Took all of us by surprise. What is government hiding on this matter? The business statement was presented on Friday, a copy of which I have here. Programming business for the ensuing week, for next week. And you won't believe that the finance minister doesn't appear. on the schedule of business. When I raised it after the business statement was presented by the deputy majority group leader, the Honorable Afenyo-Makin informed Parliament that the finance minister says that he needs more time to prepare adequately and give us very good responses. I mean, this is expenditure that has taken place already. I spoke to Aviation Acropolis. It's cash down. If you don't pay, they don't move the aircraft. So we have paid already. All these hotel bills, the per diems, all have been paid already. It's just about adding, simple addition, add your receipts and come to Parliament and account. Why this delay tactics? What is government hiding? Why should it take you already 2 weeks from 1st June to 17th June? You did it. That's more than 2 weeks. You failed to come and respond. The whole of next week, you say is not adequate time. Can you believe that? The whole of next week. And we don't know when. And I think we need to amend our standing orders so that ministers don't take these liberties, don't have these laxities.